What is going on, guys? Today is March 27th, 2022. I just turned 21 years of age on Wednesday, so I went to my first bar last night. It was actually pretty fun. It's called Headshots. It's an arcade bar, so like arcade games. There were pool tables, PlayStation 4s, PlayStation 3s, Nintendo. I played classic Mario, all that, or the Rainbow Road. It was a good time. There's a good bar, fun time with fun people, and it was just fun all around. In terms of my birthday, the pizza was really good. I forgot to talk about the pizza too. The pizza was really good at the bar. But in terms of my birthday, just another day really. And as I get older, it's just another day. But going to stuff like that makes it fun to be 21. And I still feel weird walking around because I have a paper ID, so I still feel weird walking around like I can buy this stuff now, but I forget that I can buy this stuff because for 21 years I couldn't buy any of that, so legally. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff to talk about today. Let's just dive right into it. It's a lot of first, I want to get something off my chest. Slow drivers, get the fuck off the road. I'm not talking about just slow drivers. I'm talking about like bad drivers. Bad drivers in general is just, I cannot stand you. Like, if you don't use turn signals, if you don't turn signals like merging onto the highway, or like turn signals just when you're turning, or like if we're going onto a road, like if you wait till the last minute to merge onto a highway, you're an asshole because you don't have to wait that long. And if we're there's a road on most, if you don't live in Kansas, you're not gonna know this, but Webb Road, it goes what is this, horizontally? Yeah, it goes horizontally. Webb Road goes horizontally, and where I come from, I'm looking like this, and there's another parking lot on this way. So if you're coming out, you turn left or right. If you don't have your turn signals on, you're an asshole because I don't know which way you're going, so I can't judge if I can make a move or not. And that road is always busy as hell too, around any time on the weekend or any time in the afternoon. Morning time will be good, but any time in the afternoon, that road, for me at least, where I have to go, is busy as fuck. But yeah, that's just something I had to get off my chest. If you're a bad driver, if you have no self-awareness, if we're on the highway even, and you're driving in the middle lane, not even the far left lane, just the middle lane. If you're driving in the middle lane and you're going at least 55, and you know the minimum speed limit is probably 45, then get over to the right lane, because obviously you're going slow. You shouldn't be in the middle lane. The middle. That's what my grandpa told me before I started driving. Well, no, it was when I was driving. I had my Focus before I had my my truck that I have now. I had a white Ford Focus, and for some reason, I remember this. I was driving in my Ford Focus with my grandpa in Kansas City during a rainstorm. First of all, backtrack. My sister knows. She was in the car with me. It was me, my sister, my dad, and her boyfriend. I don't know if was there anybody else in the car. I don't know. But it was us four, and it was really bad. The weather was really bad. There was a big rainstorm, and I had my wipers on full blast, like that. And I had them. My dad did not make the situation any better. My dad was in my ear the whole time, and he wasn't even watching the road. He was on his PSP, and it was really bad. And we were driving next to a semi. I couldn't see anything that was in front of me. I didn't know if there was a car in front of me. I didn't know if the road curved and we were going to drive off the side of the road. I had no idea. I didn't see anything in front of me. I was just driving, trusting that wherever this semi, I was driving next to the semi. So I was tracing the hip of the semi. Wherever the semi went, I went, which was dangerous because the semi couldn't see me either. So that whole thing was dangerous. But We got there safely. But halfway through, we stopped at a gas station, and we had to switch. My dad, I walked in there, and apparently I looked mad. I was mad, but apparently I looked mad, and everybody could tell that I was mad. So they switched my dad with my grandpa, and for the rest of the way, my grandpa said, "I'm switching, I'm driving." So I was fine with that because I kind of wanted to relax anyways. So my grandpa was driving my car, and I was sitting in the passenger seat. A sister and her boyfriend, Damani, in the back seat, and you know, then we just drove the rest of the way to. We went to a restaurant. I forgot what it was called, but we went to a restaurant, like Chinese restaurant. It was pretty good, or Filipino food or something like that. It was good though, and then besides the point. Point of the story is my grandpa told me that the right lane is for going 45, because usually on most highways the minimum speed limit is 45. So if you're going 45 or lower than 60, get in the right lane, the far right lane. This is talking about highways for 3 lanes, because there's highways that have more than 3 lanes, but I'm talking about 3-lane highways. 3-lane highways, the right lane is for 45 or slower than 60. The middle lane is for 60 or 65. And the left lane, the far left lane, is for 65 or 70. Now, most cops will let you go 65. I usually go 70 until I see a cop, and I go 65. That's just usually in on the highway, because I've been taking the same route like every day, because I do the same things every day, and I go the same places every day. Then I know like what times and like what times I can like get away with it. Like you know what times the cops are on the road. Probably write myself out. I shouldn't say that. If a cop is watching this, probably not, but probably have stuff to do. But we have a lot of stuff to do too. So first, when I was searching up stuff to talk about for this episode, I read this article about Elon Musk. He's talking about Twitter doesn't allow free speech, and he's an advocate for free speech, I guess. Which, I mean, that's something to say. I mean, I don't know. Elon Musk. I think he created Tesla. I don't know if he created it or like he's just a co-founder or something. I don't know how that works, but anyways, Tesla is by Elon Musk. I know that. And when I wrecked my truck, when I got my truck I didn't wreck it. When my truck was I'd be talking way too fast than I think, and I just bear with me. When I wrecked my truck, there was a Tesla. Yeah, it was actually on Harry too. Well, no, it wasn't on. Yeah, it was on Harry. It was on the intersection of Harry and Webb. So like Webb Road, I was just talking about. We have a deep connection, me and Webb Road. Between Harry and Webb, the intersection where the lights are, there was a Tesla at the red light that was across. Like I was coming down west. I was driving west, and there was a Tesla that was how was this? On the north side. There's a Tesla on the north side. I was driving west, and it was a red light for the cars looking that way. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but it was a red car. It was a white car actually, but it was a red light for the cars looking that way, and he caught it on camera, because Teslas have cameras in them. I guess that's part of Teslas, and caught it on camera. And the reason why truck got wrecked, because the dude ran a red light, like it was blatantly red. And like he sent me a video, like I can show you guys the video, put in the link in the description below. I'm not gonna do that, just kidding. There's probably some like violation or something. Yeah. You see me in the video, dude ran a red light. He didn't even have insurance anyway. That's another thing. The cops didn't even do anything about it, so that's another thing I have to take care of. I mean, like, go to the, you know, courthouse, get that figured out. But anyways, part of the video, Elon Musk, that was his name, Tesla. Tesla's pretty cool. They're nice cars. I don't know. I think they're pretty expensive. I'm pretty sure they're pretty expensive. But I found out while I was researching this. Well, I wasn't researching anything. I just found it on Twitter that he was basically talking on Twitter that he wanted to, like, it's like, do we need a new social media platform? Twitter doesn't allow free speech. And I mean, that's true, because like some stuff Twitter will take down. Twitter will block you. Like Facebook will send you to Facebook jail if you say something that Facebook doesn't agree with. Mark Zuckerberg is a cop. But I found out Elon Musk, he has hella kids, like 8 of them. And the one that we all know of is his kid with the weird ass name, XAEAXII, which translate to X-A12, and which is still a weird ass name. But probably they call him X, variable X. X is for the variable X. A12 stands for Archangel 12, which is an aircraft Elon Musk made or something. He didn't make it. He probably came up with the idea. It's his aircraft. But it was his girlfriend who originally came up with the name for that kid, saying that she wanted the X in there for the variable X at the beginning of the name. And then AE, which stands for Ash, I guess, when you put it like kind of like into each other, I guess. He also has 5 children with his first wife, but he has 8 children in total. So 5 children with his first wife is Nevada. Some of these kids' names are regular, like that's a regular kid name, but the last one I'm going to say is the weirdest name. It gives the first name I just said run for its money. Nevada Alexander Musk, regular name. Xavier Musk, regular name. Damian Musk, it's another regular name. Griffin Musk. I mean, Griffin is a white person name. And if you are white, you don't. I wouldn't choose Griffin as a name, just me personally. Kai Musk, Kai is a cool name in my opinion, and Saxon Musk. Saxon is alright, but the weirdest name, Dark Sidereal Musk. Wait. Oh, Exa Dark Sidereal. I knew I was reading something. It's Exa Dark Sidereal Musk, which they refer to her as Y because it's a weird ass name. So weird ass names get letters. So XAEEXII, that's X. Exa Dark Sidereal Musk, that's Y. So just for you guys out there trying to find X and Y, that's just what it is. Teachers won't tell you that, but that's what they don't want you to know, and that's what you need to know. So yeah. Also, right before I came on, started recording, not right before, it was like a couple hours before, I was having a discussion, because when I was a kid, first off we gotta start it off, when I was a kid, like during the summer times when I was a kid, you know, like not old enough to get a job yet or do anything like that. When I was a kid in the summertime, we would have sandwiches every day for lunch, which I'm not saying anything bad about that, you know. The situation we were in, my mom did everything she can for us, and I appreciate it. I love my mom, and I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying we had sandwiches every day, so I know I got tired of having sandwiches every day, and I would always have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, which were my go-to at the time, and they were good. I prefer strawberry jelly over grape jelly, but I would only have strawberry jelly depending on what kind of peanut butter it is. If it was the crunchy peanut butter, it would be strawberry jelly. But if it was the creamy peanut butter, it would be the grape jelly. And always that way. But strawberry jelly was better than grape jelly. And strawberry is better than grape in any flavor, really. So I would always have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So over time, you would get tired of them, right? So then, like now that I live by myself, for a while, I wouldn't eat sandwiches at all, and like it's bad to say, but I would be like wasting my food because I wouldn't eat sandwiches. Like I would buy, that's kind of fucked up, but like I would be wasting my own food because I would buy sandwich stuff, but like I know I didn't like sandwiches. It was just, I don't know. And but now I eat sandwiches now, only ham and cheese sandwiches. I can't remember the last time I ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I eat ham and cheese sandwiches. I mean, like I said, I would only eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Back then, I didn't like ham and cheese sandwiches. But to be fair, like I used to put ketchup on my ham and cheese sandwiches, so that also could have made it more gross. So, but now I use mayonnaise now in sandwich bread. It's better. Mayonnaise is better though. Miracle Whip, not mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is good too, but Miracle Whip is better than mayonnaise in the tier. People outside. But yeah, I only eat ham and cheese sandwiches now. I used to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches all the time. I'll eat ham and cheese sandwiches, no peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So, for you guys out, I want to know like, what did you guys used to eat, like peanut butter and jelly or ham and cheese, and like, has it changed or not? Because that was something that was just, I don't know, we had to figure it out. So, we got a lot to talk about today. Hold on, I need a drink. March Madness. 2 of the Final Four already set. 2 more games today. Miami's 10 seed, Kansas number 1 seed. It's on at like, I think 1 something in the afternoon. I'm gonna watch it. I'm rooting for Kansas, obviously, in that game. Living in Kansas. 1 step to the Final Four. Final Four, always, like it still does confuse me. Oh, shoot. Still does confuse me. Like, why everybody gets like so happy with going to the Final Four. Like, you won in the Elite Eight to go to the Final Four, but you haven't even won in the Final Four yet. And then when you win in the Final Four, you have to win in the national championship to even like, I don't know. It was just always confusing to me. Like, why are you celebrating going to another game? You didn't celebrate going to the Sweet 16, and then you didn't celebrate going to the Elite Eight, but you celebrate and cut down the nets when you go to the Final Four. It just always confused me. And like, it's college basketball, that's tradition. So I'm not like saying to like get rid of it or anything. I'm just saying like it's confusing to me, and like I don't know why it gets to me, but a lot of things that get to me shouldn't get to me. That's just, you know, that's how you even out what's important and what's not, you know. But March Madness, 2 other games today. North Carolina and St. Peter's. You have to be rooting for St. Peter's. If one of your teams is in the tournament still, then you can root for them. But you can also root for St. Peter's at the same time, unless you're like one of them, like die hard, like fucking, you probably jerk off to your team at night, you know, which is weird. But like if you're like that, probably only going for your team. And even if your team loses, you're probably not going to go for any other team. But like, have a heart and go for St. Peter's, and like, because they're going on a Cinderella run, and like, that's what March Madness is all about. It's called March Madness. Anything could happen. Like, nobody thought Gonzaga was going to lose as early as they did, or if at all. Nobody thought Arizona was going to lose, both of which are 1 seed. Nobody thought Baylor was going to lose, and I think Baylor was a 2 seed. I could be wrong. No, I think they're a 1 seed. North Carolina is the 2 seed. No, Kentucky was the 2 seed that lost. Yeah, Kentucky was the 2 seed that lost. But Baylor, Gonzaga, Arizona, Baylor, defending national champion. She's going to be a new national champion now, obviously. And Kansas, the only number 1 seed left in the tournament, going up against Miami today. So the 2 teams that are in the Final Four already, Villanova and Houston. I don't think they're playing each other though. So whoever wins between Miami and Kansas, I think the winner of that game plays Houston. I could be wrong. So fact check me if you want, but I told you I could be wrong. So, but I think I'm right. So, anyways, we got a lot to talk about today. Tyreek Hill traded from the Chiefs to the Dolphins, who I think the Dolphins now with Tyreek Hill, this is the year Tua has to perform. Tua has no excuses. Tyreek Hill's cap hit this year is $1 million after signing his contract, 4-year deal worth up to $120 million, which is basically in the contract is basically a 3-year contract because it has an option year in the 4th year. In this 4th year when his cap hit is the biggest. So, but Tyreek Hill probably going to see the end of that contract because they would be crazy to cut Tyreek Hill like the Chiefs were crazy to trade him. But they really didn't have any option because Tyreek Hill wanted a new contract. And after seeing the Devontae Adams contract, it reset the market, and the Chiefs knew they weren't going to be able to afford Tyreek Hill at the price he was asking. So the Chiefs didn't really have anything to do with or have like their hand tied behind their back. Like they really had to trade Tyreek Hill if he's going to walk. They got someone for him. They had to get something for him as long as they could. Which is really a 3-year deal. His cap hit for 2022 will only be like I said, a little bit over $1 million. So like I said, Tua is on his rookie deal still. And last year he was like taken in and out of the lineup for Ryan Fitzpatrick and like the Brian Flores situation with the Dolphins owner allegedly trying to pay him to lose, paying other coaches to lose, and now you see the Dolphins like spending money in free agency, getting Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, boosting their O-line with Teron Armstead on the O-line, and now bringing in Tyreek Hill via trade, giving him a long-term contract. So they were spending money to lose, now they're spending money to win, trying to flip the script on the media. But in terms of the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs will be fine. They brought in Juju and Marquez Valdez-Scantling from the Chiefs. Juju was hurt last year with Pittsburgh, but his year in 2018 when he was a Pro Bowler, obviously he had AB on the other side of him, so that obviously helped. AB himself had over 1,200 yards that year and was another Pro Bowler. Juju in 2018, he did that season. AB was on the other side. He had 1,400 yards and 7 touchdowns. So like, if he could stay healthy, and he's played 16 games that year, if he could stay healthy. Because he played the next season. He played 12 games before he got hurt, if I'm not mistaken. And he was on pace to like copy that or get a little bit more than that if he could stay healthy with Patrick Mahomes throwing him the ball. Patrick Mahomes obviously better than Big Ben was. That team with Pittsburgh though, that was a good team with Le'Veon Bell, Big Ben, Antonio Brown, and then when Juju came in late in the mix. Martavius Bryant early on. That was a good team. It's amazing how they kept all that stuff with Antonio Brown quiet, because as soon as he left, it just all went down with Antonio Brown. Like, it's crazy. But that's a whole nother conversation we can get into. This podcast would be super long if we did that. I think I forgot to turn on my mic again, so this is not recording. Oh, no, it's on. Okay. I would have been mad. Real mad. Because I would have to restart the whole video all over again. But yeah, I think the Chiefs will be fine with Juju. The question with the Chiefs, which has been the question a lot with them, is their defense. Because obviously, losing Tyrann Mathieu, he hasn't picked the team yet, but so he could theoretically come back to the Chiefs, but he hasn't picked the team yet. He's a free agent. Nick Bolton looked like a promising young linebacker for them. Chris Jones, Frank Clark, obviously still up front. So they have good pieces on their defense. It's just the loss of Tyrann Mathieu in the secondary, and I don't know if they're going to try to replace him in the draft or just roll with who they have in L'Jarius Sneed, or just draft somebody. I don't know about the safety class this year. I'm not a mock draft freak. I don't look at mock drafts because it's really, I think mock drafts are like for people who like want shows spoiled, like people like that, like people who like haven't even seen the show but they want you to tell them what happens in the show before they even watch it because they don't want to be like, I don't know, people like that like mock drafts. I don't like spoiling my shows before I watch them. I don't like mock drafts. But not just like the AFC West is going to be tough with the Chiefs now losing Tyreek Hill. They still have Travis Kelce, which, you know, Travis Kelce's arguably one of the top 3 tight ends in the for the past 5 years. So they still have Travis Kelce, Juju now, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who he was an alright player for the Packers. He was just battling injuries. He's a deep threat. He is fast. Not as fast as Tyreek Hill. Nobody is. He can take you down deep. He can jump. It's just if he can stay healthy. Him and Juju. If he can stay healthy. Health is a question mark for the receiver position. But other than that, they still have Clyde Edwards-Helaire back there. Patrick Mahomes. You're gonna have to see what Patrick Mahomes can do now without Tyreek Hill, because he's only ever had Tyreek Hill. But you still have Travis Kelce, so he'll be fine. I think the Chiefs will be fine, and the AFC West is going to be really tough now. And I'm picking, right now, my pick for the AFC West is the Chargers. I'm picking the Chargers with their revamped defense. Justin Herbert, another year. And I just think the Chargers, like, if Justin Herbert can take that next step, like he's been taking in his, 3rd year now, like a Josh Allen step, if he can, like, be in the MVP conversation and take his team to the playoffs, like Josh Allen was last year, I think the Chargers are going to be in perfect position to win the AFC West and probably get the #1 seed in the AFC overall. I just really love the Chargers, and I feel like, the Chargers last year with the Rams winning the Super Bowl, the Chargers were like, okay, we got to do something now. And now they brought in, obviously, Khalil Mack on the opposite side of Joey Bosa, so that's going to be dangerous. And then you have brought in J.C. Jackson in the secondary already with Derwin James. So the secondary just got a lot better. The defense is good. On the offensive side, you know Justin Herbert is good. You know Keenan Allen. You know Mike Williams. The offensive line could use some improvements, but that's what the draft is for later on in free agency. I think the Chargers is going to be a team in the AFC, and it's not just the Chargers. It's the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was looking really good last year, and then he got hurt for the last couple of games with the Ravens. And people forget Lamar Jackson was a former MVP a couple of years ago. So the Ravens are not dead in the water. You just got to figure out the contract situation and all that stuff with the Ravens. Get him another receiver. Got Marquise Brown, Mark Andrews, their running back. Who's their running back? What's his name? You guys know. But yeah, hold on, you train. Yeah, AFC is gonna be tough next year. I can make a whole new video on that, just only on that, and it'll be like 40 minutes. But because the AFC is gonna be even more tough now with the addition of Matt Ryan to the Colts. The Colts only had to trade a 3rd round pick for him, which is kind of surprising to give up only a 3rd for Matt Ryan, because Matt Ryan obviously their best quarterback in franchise history. Won MVP, took him to the Super Bowl. Michael Vick was a very good quarterback, but he never did those things. Matt Ryan's our all-time passing yards leader in history. But the team as a whole last year, the Falcons finished 7-10. The first year post Julio Jones era. Also the first year with 17 games too. Finished 7-10. So the Falcons trade away Matt Ryan to the Colts for a 3rd round pick, bring in Marcus Mariota on a 2-year deal, which if they're going into a rebuild, trading away Matt Ryan, going into a rebuild, which they didn't say they're going into a rebuild, but I'm just like, for debate purpose for conversation purposes, I should say, like, give Felipe Franks an opportunity. Like, he was an undrafted rookie last year. And I know you brought in Marcus Mariota, and he has familiarity with Arthur Smith, who was with the Titans when Marcus Mariota was with the Titans. And that was when Marcus Mariota was doing really good with Arthur Smith, so there's familiarity there. But give Felipe Franks a real shot. He's probably not going to get the job, because he brought in Marcus Mariota on starter money. That's a starter contract. So the job is probably Marcus Mariota's, but losing Calvin Ridley, I don't know if with Calvin Ridley, now they still have Kyle Pitts, who had over 1,000 yards last year in his rookie season. So coming out of college, like they were talking about him as a generational talent, and you see that promise with him. But losing Calvin Ridley to, obviously he was betting on games while he was away from the team. So they lose him for this season next year. They obviously don't have Julio Jones. They do have Kyle Pitts though, so they're gonna have to use Kyle Pitts in the offense more next year, which I figure they're all going to do anyways, because it's the second year, and he had 1,000 yards last year as a rookie. He looked promising, although he only did have 1 touchdown last year. And like Julio Jones with the Falcons, Julio Jones wasn't a big touchdown guy. Like, he would get like a couple touchdowns, but most, like, not a couple, like he would get like 6-7 touchdowns, but like most of his stuff would be yards, like, and catches. Like, the way you have to watch Julio Jones. Younger kids have to watch Julio Jones, not now because he's getting a lot later on in his career. Like, watch Julio Jones like in his prime with the Falcons. Like, those are some of the best aggressive toe tap grabs that you'll ever see, in my opinion. Like, especially that one in the Super Bowl on the sideline against the Patriots. That was one of the best catches in the Super Bowl that I've seen in my 21 years of experience. But yeah, so that Super Bowl in general was like, there was a couple of good catches in that Super Bowl. The Julian Edelman catch, obviously, when he caught it like 2 times right before it hit the ground. The game, obviously, the blow, 28-3 lead. That game's always going to be that's always going to be the number one, the best Super Bowl ever. That Super Bowl right there, because of the 28-3 comeback by the greatest, by arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in Tom Brady. That's going to be that's going to be the greatest Super Bowl to go down ever, unless Super Bowl, like, you're going to get a Super Bowl in the future. You know, who knows what the future holds for teams and Super Bowls. But obviously the Falcons are in the Deshaun Watson discussion, but obviously not getting Deshaun Watson go to the Browns. So I mean, the Falcons traded away the quarterback, and now the Colts got a new quarterback. For the Colts, what are they looking like? It's a good question. Glad you asked. The Colts, like I said, gave up a third to get Ryan. The Colts last year, one of the best defenses in the NFL. They just needed a quarterback for a while now to lead that team, because their defense is ready. The defense is that team. The defense is the Colts. So they just need a quarterback to manage the game. I thought that was going to be Carson Wentz. Right now, the trade for Matt Ryan, bring him in there. The defense led obviously up front by DeForest Buckner. Now we're bringing in Yannick Ngakoue, obviously Darius Leonard in the middle, and then you got Kenny Moore in the secondary with Julian Blackmon. So I mean, the defense is going to be all right as long as everybody can stay healthy. Again, health is a question mark for every team, not just the teams I'm talking about. For every team, if every team can stay healthy, every team can contend, right? But the Colts, they just needed a player to like manage that team on offensive side of the ball, because the defense is going to do their job. On the offensive side of the ball, they still have Jonathan Taylor, who's one of the best running backs in the NFL already, coming out of Wisconsin. While he was in Wisconsin, he was the best running back in college. So, I mean, I don't know why people didn't value Jonathan Taylor as much as like they should have coming out of the draft, because he was a 2nd round pick. I would have took him in the 1st round, because like when you see him in college, like he was the way he was running and stuff, like he was the best college running back in college while he was there. And I'm talking about like not just for 1 year, for while he was there. And I don't know why teams didn't like see the value in that as much as they do now, but in the Colts were the team that landed on him, or he was the team that he landed on the Colts, I should say, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But they still have Michael Pittman on the outside. Michael Pittman, he's a speedster wide receiver, but I think they need like not a big trade wide receiver. You don't need to get someone big. Like bringing Julio Jones to complement, like that would be the perfect wide receiver, or Jarvis Landry for the Colts. Like not a huge wide receiver, not a wide receiver one who's going to demand. Well, if you bring in Julio Jones or Jarvis Landry, they're going to be wide receiver one because they're better than Michael Pittman. But if you can get a receiver to complement him, you don't need to make another huge trade, like sign Julio, sign Jarvis to like to a team friendly deal, you know, for 1 year, just because your window is going to be closing soon with Darius Leonard, Kenny Moore, DeForest Buckner. Like those are top notch like defenders at their position, so they're going to demand when their next contract is up, they're going to demand money, and you're going to have to pay them, or your window is going to be closed. So your window is right now, and you just need to go all in. If I was the Colts, because I mean your team is loaded, and a defense like that, like you don't waste a defense like that. I mean, look what they did for the Broncos when they had Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was the defense carried Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning got benched in the playoffs, or he got benched in the regular season. But when they went to the playoffs, they put him back in, and then for Brock Osweiler, which was crazy. That was a crazy time because he got like $70 million from the Texans, and then he sucked. That was a wild time. But he got carried by the Broncos defense. So as long as you have a quarterback that can manage a game, Peyton Manning was still managing the game. I wouldn't call him a game manager. He's Peyton Manning. But I mean, look at their defense. They have the number 1 defense. The Colts probably have the number 1 defense now. Matt Ryan, former MVP. Peyton Manning, former MVP. I mean, Matt Ryan is not going to lose with the game like Carson Wentz would. Matt Ryan's going to make good decisions, hopefully, and you go and get to the playoffs. At least don't lose to the Jaguars in the last season to get kicked out of the playoffs. But like I was talking about Deshaun Watson, the Falcons were in the discussion for Deshaun Watson, but he's going to the Browns in exchange for, the Browns get Deshaun Watson in a 4th round pick for a first this year, which is the 13th pick. We'll talk about that more. A first and a third next year, and a first and a 4th in 2024. Watson then signed a fully guaranteed 5-year, $230 million contract, which it's crazy because this stuff going on with Deshaun Watson, like this legal stuff, I don't know if it's over, like completely over. I know like 2 grand juries didn't indict him on criminal charges, so his criminal charges aren't there. I still know his civil charges are still there. They're still friggin' those out. And Deshaun Watson has like proclaimed his innocence this whole time, saying like, because he already denied like a settlement, because he doesn't want, because if you sign a settlement, like if you make a settlement, agree to a settlement, that's saying like you're guilty and you want to stop talking about it, you know. And he's saying he's not guilty, so innocent until proven guilty. They are just allegations, but whatever the case is, you know, you hope the right thing does get done. But anyway, Deshaun Watson on the Browns now. I don't know if the owners thought like because I felt like as soon as the criminal charges were like out the window, like that was like the green light for these corrupt owners to like make a trade for Deshaun Watson, which is probably, and he still probably is facing a suspension from the NFL for these allegations. Probably going to be like a 6-game suspension, probably because that's all the NFL cares about it. NFL, like, they don't hand out, unless Roger Goodell makes an example out of this one, which he's failed to do in the past. So I don't think it'll be any different now. But he's probably going to be facing a suspension. So then, what do you do with Baker Mayfield? Do you like just throwing it out there? Do you like keep him on the team for like the suspension and then trade him at the deadline because then you get Deshaun back, and just have Baker there to manage the team for a while, or and keep the team afloat? But that would be like that would be also an awkward situation for all of Cleveland in the organization, because Baker knows he's on borrowed time and he's not going to be there for until next year. Deshaun is the new guy, the new quarterback for that team. So that's also a situation. He could get traded to the Seahawks. That's where I think he's going to go, to the Seahawks, because they traded away obviously Russ Wilson to the Broncos. They brought in Drew Lock too, and if you're going to a full rebuild, Drew Lock probably would be the way to go. I wouldn't trade for a guy like Baker if you're going into a rebuild. He's more of a quarterback if you want to win now, and I don't think the Seahawks are trying to win now because they traded away Russ Wilson, released Bobby Wagner. Probably going to trade away either DK or Tyler Lockett by the draft. But if you can keep those two with Drew Lock, maybe see what you have in Drew Lock if you're going to a full rebuild. I don't know why you would trade for Baker Mayfield for the Seahawks, but if you're not, Baker Mayfield would be a good trade. That would be a good trade for the Seahawks if you don't like Drew Lock, which I think you should. Drew Lock in another team would a good fresh start for him. And then if not, then you try and you just go to the drawing board again. And it's tough. It's always going to be tough trying to replace like a quarterback like Russ Wilson. Drew Lock is not the replacement. I don't think he's going to be the answer. I think you're going to have to draft another quarterback. Probably not this year. Probably wait till next year, because their draft class next year is better, I've heard. I haven't really checked into that. I thought the draft class this year was going to be good too with Matt Corral, but he doesn't really have any much talk about him as I thought he would. Desmond Ritter's starting to get some talk about him, but I mean it started late and they weren't talking about him for the whole time. It's really been about Kenny Pickett and Sam Howell. They didn't talk about Sam Howell either. They talked about him in the beginning, but it's crazy. I haven't talked this much in a while. My voice is going. But yeah, the Texans. I think I just skipped right over the Texans. The Texans trading away Deshaun Watson to the Browns. Obviously now they're with Dougie Mills, who was a rookie last year. Out of Stanford. Not the best situation to go into for a rookie. His offensive line was trash. He wasn't throwing to anybody but Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks did have 1,000 yards the last 2 seasons, but he's the only receiver that's on the team that is worth any targets. No disrespect to anybody, but that's just facts, and facts don't lie. So, if they can get another receiver in there, maybe get Jarvis Landry or Julio Jones. They're the top 2 receivers that are out there still for any team that needs a receiver, not just like they're probably free agency. You can like obviously pick where you want to go. So you probably don't want to go to a team like Texas, like Houston Texans, all that shit going on. Texans are in a clear rebuild, so use that 13th pick, draft a quarterback this year maybe. That's the thing about Davis Mills. It gives you having Davis Mills he did some good things last year. He played a lot better than anybody would have thought he would in this situation that he was in. So he did some good things. It gives you the option to either wait until next year's draft class, because the team it's probably not going to be that much better next year. So wait till next year's draft class when the draft class is better, as I mentioned. Or you should use that 13th pick. Maybe a quarterback falls to you. Maybe you take a quarterback at 13, like a Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, Matt Corral, one of those guys, like I said, like I just mentioned, and then you rebuild and build around him. If you don't think Davis Mills is the answer, I can give Davis Mills one more shot and then draft a quarterback next year for the Texans. That's really the Texans, because they're in a rebuild for the next couple years. So that's all that you can do if you're the Texans organization. Because nobody's going to want to come there for the next couple of years because it's a shit show over there. So, yeah, guys, that is all for today. My voice is killing me. Yeah, after I just read off this, it was a while. I took spring break off to make another video, but I will be uploading once a week now, consistently. I just took spring break off to relax, but once a week after this, once a week video coming out probably on Friday. So I'll see you guys then.